Hello students, welcome. In this session, we'll see data definitions, SQL data types, and schemas. Let us see what is SQL. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. SQL lets you access and manipulate databases. Thus, SQL is a language through which you can interact with the database. As you already know, a table is a database object that holds the user data. This is a student underscore table, is a table name, and it is also called as relation name. And the first row is nothing but your column name that we call as attributes. The subsequent rows wherein the actual data is contained are called as tuples. Right, this you already know. SQL can be divided into two parts, DDL and DML. DDL stands for Data Definition Language. DML stands for Data Manipulation Language. Let us see what is Data Definition Language. As the name suggests, you are trying to define the data structure, right? That is a table structure. So it is a set of SQL commands used to create, modify, and delete database structures like tables, schemas, and so forth. But it doesn't create, modify, or delete the actual data contained in the tables. Thus, we can say it also defines indices, right? Specifies the links between tables and impose constraints between the tables. Some of the most important DDL commands in SQL are create table, because this will create a table structure, alter table, to modify the table, like you want to add a column to the table, or you want to delete a column in the table, or you want to modify the name of the column, right? For that you can use alter table. Truncate table, it will delete all the records from the table. Drop table, so this will delete the table itself. So these are few of the most important DDL statements, that is data definition language statements. So let us see the data manipulation language. This data manipulation language will deal with the data that is there in the table. So it is an area of SQL that allows changing data within the table or database. The query and the update commands from the DML part of SQL are insert, you want to insert a new row in the table, select, extract data from the database, update, updating the value in the table or a database, delete, deleting a value from the table or a database, insert, select, update, and delete. All these statements actually work with the data within the table or the database. Thus, these are grouped into data manipulation language statements. We also have a data control language. As the name suggests, it will control the access to the tables and so forth. So it is a component of SQL statement that controls access to the data and to the database. Occasionally, this data control language statements are grouped within the DML statements. So few of the commands under data control language are commit. This commit will save the work done until now, right? If you are doing a set of transactions and if you want to save that now, just put commit so that changes will be applied onto the table. Just like you open any Word document and start typing, until unless you save it, the changes are not saved onto the hard disk. Similarly, here, whatever the command that you execute, if it really needs to be applied permanently on the table, then you can use the command commit. Save point. The save point is another point in the transactions to which you want to roll back later, right? you can mention in a transaction, assume you have 20 different statements. So if you are trying to do 20 statements and you can give a save point at 5th transaction or 10th transaction. So if you go on to 8th transaction, because of something, if you have done the 6th and 7th and 8th transactions wrongly, then you want to move back to the state of the DB, how it was at the 5th statement being executed, then you can roll back your execution to the 5th statement, right? So you can roll back to the save point. That's why the save point will identify a point in the transaction to which you can roll back later. So rollback is a statement. This will restore database to the original since the last commit. If you just say rollback, it will roll back to the last commit. You say rollback save point 1. If you are given a save point 1 as a pointer to the 5th statement, it will move up to the 5th point. Right? Yeah. Then grant. This will give a user access privilege to a database. For some user, if you want to grant privilege to use one table, then you can give the table access permission to a user using grant. Even you can revoke that access privilege using revoke statement. Let us see some of the SQL data types. As you know what is data type in the C programming language, int, float, character, those are data types, right? Similarly here, to describe a table and to mention which column should contain which type of data, you can define data types on the columns so that the data stored in those columns will be of particular data type. If you mention char as a data type for a column, that column would only contain characters but not the numbers, right? That is what is meant by data type. Let's say if you use a data type as a char, in that if you mention size, then that column can maximum hold that many characters data within each row. Remember, it can only hold the character strings, not the numbers, right? Let us see varchar or varchar2. Here the size also says the same thing, that there is a maximum number of alphanumeric data that can be held by the column that has data type as a varchar or varchar2 of the size. So this data type is used to store variable length alphanumeric data. Varchar can hold 1 to 255 characters. The varchar is usually a wiser choice than the character because it's variable in length and it's alphanumeric. But keep in mind that the char is much faster than the varchar, right? Let's see date. The data type is used to represent date and time. The data type is used to represent date and time. The standard format is DD, MM, YY, that is day, month, year. And the date time stores the time in the 24 hours format. By default, the time in the date field is 12.00.00 AM, right? So let us see number P, S. The number data type is used to store numbers. Either it can be fixed numbers or floating point numbers. The number of virtually any magnitude may be stored up to 38 digits of precision. 38 digits of precision is too long, right? The precision P determines the maximum length of data, whereas the scale S determines the number of places to the right of the decimal. Let's take an example. Number 5,2 is a number that has 3 digits before the decimal and 2 digits after the decimal. Thus, 3 plus 2 will be 5. That is, this 5 is the maximum number of the length of the numbers, whereas 2 is a number that should be after the decimal point, right? So this number can at max hold 999.99 and not more than that, because 3 digits before the decimal and 2 digits after the decimal. right? Let's see long. This data type is used to store variable length character strings containing up to 2 GB. Variable length character strings. Thus, the long can be used to store array of binary data in ASCII format. And note that only one long value can be defined per table, not more than that. Only one value per a table. Let's see schemas. The concept of SQL schema was incorporated starting with SQL 2 in order to group together tables and other constructs that belong to the same database application. Just to group together the tables or the other artifacts that are belonging to a database application, they brought in a new concept called as SQL schema. Just like a modules in a application, like modules only contain classes and the programs and other artifacts that are concerned only with that module. That module will only achieve a task, one task of many particular tasks of application, right? So similarly, SQL schema is a group of tables and other artifacts that belong to some database application, right? It's just like a module or a package that you define in other Java programming language or any other language for that matter. The SQL schema is identified by the schema name, and it includes an authorization identifier to indicate the user or the account who owns the schema. That is the owner of the schema, as well as the descriptors for each element in the schema, right? So there will be schema name, and there will be authorization identifier, and there will be descriptors in schemas. And schema contains the tables and other related artifacts that belong to a same database application. Thus, the schema elements include tables, constraints, views, domains, and other constructs such as authorization grants that describe the schema. Let's see how to create a schema. A schema is created via create schema statement, which can include all the schema elements definition. For example, the following statement creates a schema called as a company owned by a user with authorization identifier JSmith. To do that, use a statement create schema, the schema name, that is company, and authorization and the name of the person who owns it, JSmith, here in this case. And the privilege to create schemas, tables, and other constructs must be explicitly granted to the relevant user accounts by the system administrator or DBA. That is to say that all users of the database will not have the capability to create schemas. The system administrator or a DBA, this database administrator, has to explicitly give the permission for a user who can create it. Thank you.